Hello and welcome to Public Health and the Law. My name is Taylor Burke, and I'm an Associate Professor of Health Policy at GW, and I'm the course lead for this course, and I'm really much looking forward to walking through many aspects of public health and public health law with you to get the basic parameters down of exactly how the legal system works with respect to health law and public health law. But how did I get here? I haven't always been a professor, and I started out life as a lawyer. I have a training in the law and, found my way into public health and into academia because of two very personal stories, actually. And I'm not afraid to share them, and in fact, they have been some guiding principles throughout my whole life and have really shaped a lot of my worldview as well as my career in terms of finding myself in this very spot on this very day. One of them has to do with what happened to me on the morning of December 7th, the year 2000. I am up getting ready to go to the law firm. I am getting shaved in front of the mirror to head to court to be one of those fancy Dan lawyers, and sure enough, I stretch to the left and see a bump in my neck. Great. Well, the the almost no medical knowledge that I have told me to stretch to the right to see if there was a corresponding bump over there, and if there was symmetry, then maybe it was supposed to be there, right? No such luck. And long story short, 6 days later, I'm in the chair getting chemotherapy and radiation for cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. I had Hodgkin's disease. And I started doing a lot of research as to why Hodgkin's disease happens, why cancer happens at all. And in my particular case, one of the leading theories was an environmental toxin. And I just couldn't deal with that. I wanted to figure out why. I wanted to figure out which environmental toxin. I wanted to figure out what I'd eaten or what I had drank or what I had breathed in order to create this growing cancer in my body. And now, knock on wood, everything is good and I'm cleared and I haven't had a single cell of cancer in my body for over 14 years, but for that year and a half, it was an eye-opener, and I decided to make a career change. I decided to do something that I thought would be helpful, would be beneficial, whether it was figure out something having to do with why Hodgkin's disease happened, which hasn't really happened for me yet, I'm not a scientist, or maybe try to craft a career in terms of explaining things to people and trying to guide people through some of the morass that I went through with respect to understanding how the law, in fact, affects public health and how it affects how you walk around every day and do our jobs. And so that's story number one that brings me to this point, which was my own medical history and my own sort of looking under the covers of the health system and the public health system to figure out where the reporting happens, where the epidemiology happens, where the science happens, how things get into court, and where liability is or isn't imposed with respect to certain health conditions such as cancer. The second story has to do with my best friend in the world, who also happens to be my older brother. My older brother's name is Chip, and he is severely disabled and operates at about a first-grade cognitive level. The reason he's disabled is because when my mom was pregnant with him 6 years before I was born, she was exposed to rubella. And that's another word for the German measles. And because she was exposed to rubella while pregnant with Chip, he obviously was exposed to it as well and was born with a severe mental disability. He is one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. He is one of the most honest people you'll ever meet. And he is great to hang out with, and we have a wonderful time every week when I see Chipper, as he lives very near where I live. And so through the process of growing up with my brother and trying to figure out exactly why that had happened to my mother, as well as how we deal with the disabled population, how we handle messages about healthcare, how we handle communications about issues that, you know what, we don't really like to talk about all the time. Well, I've had it with that attitude. I'm going to talk about it all the time, and I'm going to put it right here in this intro because it's important, and it helps you figure out what you want to do with your life. So I hope you will join me on this journey through 10 weeks of public health law and come to your own conclusions and have your own ha-ha moments and have your own ideas of how you might try to shape the system. Get involved, get down, get dirty, do the readings, be productive, definitely participate. And I can guarantee you that if you follow me along, if you do what I'm asking you to do throughout this course, you're going to come out the other end with a different perspective on the world of public health and a different set of knowledge and a different set of talking points that will help you better educate yourself and those around you with respect to why we do certain things within the world of public health. So I'm excited to be here. I'm more excited that you're here, and I can't wait to get started.